A fractured nose and black eye for one victim, and another, days later, severely burned. Both alleged victims of a healthcare worker.
Two back-to-back assaults at a South Austin group home for residents with disabilities put a new spotlight on what advocates say is an industry staffing crisis. They say that crisis is creating a pressurized environment that can threaten the most vulnerable. The KVUE Defenders found employees sometimes work up to 100 hours a week, but could earn more money at a fast food restaurant.
And we do want to warn you that some of the pictures in this story are difficult to see. Here's senior reporter Tony Polhetsky.
He's sweet, he's loving, he has a beautiful smile.
Angela Sanchez has always had a special connection with her son.
In his own way, he doesn't speak, because he shows you a lot of smile, a lot of love.
Born with multiple intellectual and developmental disabilities, Michael Bonilla and his mother were inseparable until he was in his mid-20s and their living circumstances required him to move to a South Austin group home.
And the need to care for him, his one-on-one, wasn't able to do that no more.
She found this 5-bedroom, 3-bath home on Independence Loop, and for the next dozen years, Bonilla lived there happily. But after the pandemic, Sanchez says her son's quality of care from the company running the home diminished.
It's neglected pretty bad, not watched properly.
She says that included missing meals and medications.
I would go up there and complain.
Then on the morning of September 6th, she got a call that Bonilla had been rushed to the emergency room. What she found at the hospital shattered her.
Horrible. They looked like somebody had skinned them. Like it took when you peel potatoes, you scrape off. That's how it looked like.
Austin police determined Bonilla had injuries consistent with chemical burns.
That's the hardest thing for a mother is seeing that your child was abused like that.
This police affidavit says when officers searched the home, they, quote, observed empty bleach bottles, detected the strong odor of bleach throughout the house, and bed sheets and clothing soaked in bleach, leading them to suspect that someone poured bleach on Bonilla. Police charged 22-year-old Charles Anthony Challenger, a caretaker at the home, with injury to a disabled person. It was not the first time police say he hurt someone in his care. 5 days earlier, police say Challenger assaulted another disabled resident of the home. The arrest affidavit states Challenger hit that resident in the face with a closed fist, striking him in the left eye and nose area. The resident told police that Challenger became upset because of his radio being loud. Challenger remains in the Travis County Jail. Arrest records listed his home address at the time as a help center for the homeless. His attorney declined to comment to the KVUE Defenders. As she learned more about 2 alleged assaults just days apart and that the same caretaker faced charges, Sanchez wondered what house operator DNS Community Services did to get Challenger out of the house. She believes faster action may have saved her son from getting hurt. We did reach out to DNS Community Services, and a spokesperson told us in an email that the company has no comment.
Nobody should go through that. See a child hurt. No matter how old they are, they're still your baby. And he's the most vulnerable.
Texas Health and Human Services Commission records show investigators found numerous deficiencies when investigating the 2 assaults that not only include the program provider failed to ensure that individuals live free from abuse, neglect, or exploitation, but also failed to provide clean and sanitary living conditions, failed to ensure the home was free of infestations, failed to maintain accurate, current, and accessible documentation of medication administration, and inspectors found staffing shortages had been an issue.
Most group homes are understaffed.
Jeff Miller, a senior policy specialist for the nonprofit advocacy group Disability Rights Texas, says such situations often occur because of a well-known and ongoing staffing shortage of qualified direct care workers across the state.
Right now, you can make more money working at McDonald's along with having access to benefits, including paid time off. You cannot do that as an attendant in a group home in the community.
In 2023, lawmakers raised the base hourly wage for Medicaid caregivers from $8.11 to $10.60. Their goal is to get it to $19 an hour as quickly as possible.
It's become a real crisis in the community, and providers are having hard times finding qualified providers, hanging on to them, retaining them, if they can find somebody to hire.
Sanchez says what happened to her son shows the result of those staffing shortages inside homes where her son lives, a problem she says she hopes one day will finally be resolved.
Don't leave these people behind, you know. They're people too, you know.
It's been 5 months now, and Angela Sanchez says her son has been in a nursing and rehab hospital, but is now ready for a new group home. The deficiencies found at the DNS Community Services home resulted in 6 citations and fines of up to $1,250 a day if those deficiencies aren't corrected. We asked Texas Health and Human Services if there had been a follow-up inspection, but they would only say a report should be available within a couple of more weeks. For the KVUE Defenders, I'm Tony Plahetsky, KVUE News.